McCarthy, a former federal prosecutor and a contributing editor for the National Review. Andy, good to see you. And so that's the question. He can implement the laws. He cannot flout the laws. He cannot rewrite the laws. How do we know, as we heard in those sound bites from all those lawmakers, that he's crossed over?
Well, Megan, he's got, first and foremost, he has a constitutional oath that he takes to faithfully execute the laws. And what that means is he has to execute them the way Congress has written them. The laws are not recommendations. They're actually the rules under which we live as prescribed. Now, he's got some leeway to, if you're dealing with criminal statutes, for example, there's a doctrine called prosecutorial discretion, which means you don't have to enforce every instance of violation of the law because resources are finite and you have to allocate them in a sensible way. So maybe you decide to go after drug distributors rather than drug users, for example. Those are the kind of divisions that get made all the time. He's also got leeway if he believes Congress has passed an unconstitutional statute.
We've seen that. We've seen that with the Defense of Marriage Act, which he refused to defend in court.
Right. And at least until the courts resolve that, he's got a good faith reason not to enforce a law he believes as president is unconstitutional.
But how do you get to, I mean, because you say, but he must execute the laws that Congress passed. Now, the Obamacare, he likes this law. They passed it because he pushed it and he signed it into law. And one of the reasons these lawmakers are saying he's gone too far here, for example, delaying this employer mandate until 2016, as we heard this week, because there's a provision in the law, I want to put it on the board, that specifically says, this is section 1513 of the law, the Affordable Care Act, that says penalties on employers shall apply to months beginning after December 31, 2016. They shall. They're supposed to kick in beginning December 2013. What allows him to say, actually, cross out 2013 and make it 2016? No,
he doesn't have any authority to do that because it's a constitutional law. We may think it's a bad law, but there's no question that it's a constitutional law. There's no question that the president believes it's a constitutional law. If it's constitutional, he has to faithfully execute it the way it's written. He doesn't have authority to change the terms.
The reason that employer mandate and these other provisions that are within Obamacare are important is because they work together. The whole law and these provisions work together. You have to have the employer mandate kick in so you can get some of the funding, so the individual mandate and so on, because they're supposed to be paying for a lot of these benefits that were given out under the law.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not his money, by the way. You know, if in theory, if you wanted this law to work properly, and whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, the people who are implementing it should want it to work properly. That money is the public's. It doesn't belong to the president. He doesn't get to say, you know, I don't think I'll collect this 3 years' worth. That belongs to us. It doesn't belong to him. And if it is a law, again, that he has no constitutional qualms with, and obviously this is one, he must implement it as written. He does not have discretion not to do
obviously, he sees things differently since we're on change number 28 to Obamacare alone. That's not even counting all these other executive actions. I want to ask you this. Yeah. You and I have talked before about this, about what the Congress's remedy is. And you said many times, as a practical matter, it's either to defund a law that they don't think he's implementing properly or to impeach him for not doing his job as the chief executive. They tried to defund Obamacare 44 times.
Right.
Didn't work. As far as impeaching the president, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any political appetite for that in this country right now. So what are they to do? Because right now on Capitol Hill, they're talking about more legal action against him.
Well, the two tracks are not mutually exclusive. They don't have to just defund Obamacare. You know, they can start slashing the president's budget on all kinds of things to try to bring him to the point where he faithfully executes the laws. As far as the case for impeaching the president is concerned, I do think the lesson of the Clinton impeachment is it doesn't matter how many high crimes and misdemeanors you have, and not faithfully executing the laws would qualify. What matters is there a will in the American public to remove the president? If there's not, it doesn't even make sense to start going down that road, but the case still has to be made.
So what do they do? Sit back and watch it?
No, they should start slashing money today. The House of Representatives does not, you know, look, Congress has to approve money that gets spent. I know they'd like everybody to believe that everything's on autopilot and they're just absolutely impotent and powerless, and we only control one half of 1/3 or whatever. They can stop.
They've got the
power.
The
government can't spend money unless Congress signs off on it.
Andy, good to see you.